Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Europe race out on the Volcano Crit course today. Ace racers are just about to get underway out onto the course right now, and we will be having coverage of the B as well as the C and D coverage as they make their way toward the finish line for the top places today. But racing action for the KISS race. For about 22 miles, 34 kilometers is what I've got lined up today. I believe it is saying 30.7, 37.5 in Zwiftpower.com. So we'll see where we end up today. But I believe we are doing 8 laps out there. It does look like racers have gotten out onto the course. Let's jump right in to the action as the racers will be heading immediately over toward the Volcano course, one of the newer releases out on Zwift. If you would like to join in on the broadcast today, let us know who your favorite racers are. If you have any questions whatsoever about what's going on with the racing out on the massive multiplayer online training program that is Zwift, please bring them our way via social media. You can either shoot a question at us over at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live on Twitter, or you can comment over on the Facebook. As you do see, Martin Jortvik did do over here, said, went ahead and gave us a nice little good evening, Nathan. So if you'd like to do so, you can bring in your questions or comments over there right now. So it does look like, as we're seeing here, Eldix, it does look like from Team WBR up toward the front of the pack right now in that WBR kit here. Looking at the rest of the group, I did see Mr. Tim Cartwright in there as well from the KISS Racing team, at least at the start finish line. Not sure that he's jumped into the race just yet. There is Tim Cartwright, one of the fastest boys out on Zwift. Definitely a favorite to be watching out for today. KISS Racing team in force, 1, 2, 3, 4 riders at least from the KRT team. I am seeing Stephen Fleetwood from Vision Cycling in there as well. I am seeing anybody else from Vision. There was one other rider from Vision Cycling on the far right over here. I'm seeing if I can see them in the riders list right now. But PTZ have also showed up in force, as we do see quite a few riders from the PTZ team. The Portugal team, Argama is there for sure. A lot of times we do see, I believe, a couple of others from PTZ as well. Melty Man is here though from the KRT team, probably riding from his from work today. He does take the lunch hour actually out of Canada there a lot of times to jump into the races. We do have the B category just taking off as well, and it does look like 75 racers signed up in the B category, so a solid race today for the B riders, it looks like, as they do take off from the start finish line right now. We'll jump in with them as soon as we can. It does look like we do have Peroso here from the PCZ team. So here is the B riders right now as they take off from the start finish line. It does look like there's WBR is hanging out here as well. You do see the update to the game right now with a lot of gray hair actually hanging out in the, I love the gray hair addition here to the avatars today. It's a totally new world actually. We haven't actually done a race broadcast since the update to the game, and you do see a whole lot of new avatar features here today. We are seeing, it does look like Kay Withrow here coming out of the US of A, riding hammering away here. And be watch out for Kay Withrow, that's for sure, today in the races. I believe she is going to be one to maybe take the W here, especially amongst the women. See if she can actually take the overall from the boys out there today as well. One of the fastest female races, I would think, out on course here for, especially amongst these B-boys. We'll see if she can grab the overall W here. I think she's coming back from a race recently, taking a win actually in is it the pro triathlon level actually. Super fast racer in the tri world actually. So we'll see if Withrow is able to hold down and take the W out there today. So moving forward now, let's see what's happening with the A category. We do see a couple of riders actually hanging back just a little bit. W Switcher and Guerra is there at the back, but it looks like he got a slow start to the day. You are seeing a lot of riders with an RIP, rest in peace, to Mr. Stuart Hogg out there today. I believe that is in a lot of these riders' avatars names, and that was a common rider riding for the TFC team actually that recently passed, and we definitely want to go with that, and condolences to the family as well. It's just a shout out to him and a rest in peace out to him from all of the Zwift community. Was a common racer that recently lost a battle to pancreatic cancer. So definitely thanks a lot everybody for the awesome tribute to him out on course today. We actually do see a contingent here of riders in the TFC kit here. A lot of riders who don't actually ride, I believe, for TFC. Let's see if all these riders are TFC riders. D. Ridley is here. I'm seeing Burton here. All TFC riders here in the TFC kit out there letting themselves be known as a tribute to him riding for Stuart. Very cool to see that out in the race today. So definitely want to shout that out to him and family, friends, as well as the rest of the Zwift community being really awesome in their tribute to him. All right, so right into the racing though, with it does look like the KRT team as they are heading into their halfway point on their first lap here. It does look like the Innovation boys are showing up in full force, right along with V. Mateus here from Bike Point, Argama from PTZ. Does look like Dryson as well as Gren, a newer racer to the world of Zwift, is out there in force. Been watching out for this one for sure for the PTZ team coming out of Sweden. Definitely a super strong rider. Been winning a lot of races out there as of recently. Be watching out for him as well as one of the new wild cards in and amongst the racers. With Tim Cartwright out there though, he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him today. Augustine here, K. Augustine now from the Innovation team. Definitely a strong sprinter. We saw him take down the entire pack in a sprint effort the other day on the flat Volcano course. If it does come down to a sprint effort, be watching out for 15 watts per kilogram or more from this rider. I have a feeling the likes of Tim Cartwright and the rest of KRT are going to be trying to break things up a lot earlier though, due to his presence in the pack. But with so many riders coming from Innovation, going to be difficult to break away. Innovation does hang out in that Alienware kit. As you can see, the Alienware logo from the top here, those will most likely be all Innovation riders in that kit. Going out the front now, we do see a level 15 rider here. It does look like Hyros, actually, no, excuse me, it has Pelosi here out of Italy. 5.7 watts per kilogram, 164 beats per minute as he starts to find his way off the front here. See if he can hang on to a little bit of gap. Does not go anywhere as drafting is definitely simulated in the game. If he does not get over 5 meters off of the front of the pack here, he is definitely going to be not getting much of a gain from that attack at 164, 165 beats per minute. Joe Gavin Richardson over at the Facebook saying, Innovation for the win. BMX boss Kyle will nitro the finish line. That's the prediction coming in from the Innovation rider himself, actually, Joe Gavin Richardson, saying that he predicts it's going to be Kyle Augustine hammer weight for a sprint today. Do see Steph Garden giving us a hello as well over at the Facebook. Rick Barbera as well saying, nice Big B group. Bummed I had to race earlier. So good to see Rick Barbera hanging out in the Facebook feed as well. Thanks a lot for the comments coming through. In amongst the C category though, then we do have up toward the front, it looks like P. Harper right along with a whole contingent of lead riders right now. This looks like there's about 20 or 30 up in that lead group. Nothing's been broken up too much. It is a flatter course today with only the one climb on the other side of the volcano from here, where you are seeing them come down these S turns. Going to be a difficult day to make too much of a breakaway, but very tactical, I would think, today as they ride at a super high pace of 31 miles per hour. Currently rising here now, 157 beats per minute. So definitely not resting by any means into that endurance or tempo tempo pace right now. Stephen Fleetwood now at 170 beats per minute. It looks like it's been a difficult day already for him. We do see a chase pack here a little ways back. It has been broken apart already amongst the riders here in the A category. Dreisen here, it looks like Dix as well, 6.2 watts per kilogram. It's actually a chase group actually from the B category. I wonder if they've actually been caught out on course here by this front A group. Absolutely flying right now. We are seeing attacks though already happening here from the KRT team. Tim Cartwright actually not wanting to come down to the sprint finish as we were just talking about here, trying to break things apart very, very early. We do see the pack completely strung out right now. Now Cartwright maybe seeing that his efforts aren't going much of anywhere just yet, allowing his teammate to make an attack off the front here. It is the Melting Man, 4.0 watts per kilogram, 159 beats per minute. Now Augustine with a counter attack, it looks like, with Bike Point here, following it up with the power-ups. Power-ups are fully allowed in the game here today for the KISS race, and they will be grabbing one, at least the ability to grab one, each time that they head through the start-finish banner here. Augustine now 7.0 watts per kilogram, 160 beats per minute, following up Gamma right along with Mateus. Melty Man following there as well. It does look like Fleetwood. The gaps are starting to open up as this is the only point at which gravity really starts to come into the view of the riders to try and cause any kind of mayhem and get away. Cartwright here 1 second off the back from the front of the race. Not dropped at any point yet though for sure. Here we do have the Sonic the Hedgehog here now off the back from the KRT team. Not sure he's going to see the front end of the group ever again, as if you are dropped off from a pack amongst a flat course like this at 21 miles per hour, 29 up toward the front, to believe Hedgehog now is not going to be seeing the front end of this race again. But KRT here with the Melting Man. Does look like there's one other from KRT making his way to the front a moment ago, but it does look like that was shut down. Now it is going to be all back together. Grupo Compacto, as we do have Peter Strzinski, a CVR competitor, actually, right along with the Tim Cartwright here, actually making their way around for their second lap out on course. Kristen Durham saying a big group of B racers out tonight. Hopefully we'll see Team WBR racer or two or three on the podium. Good to see Christopher Durham jumping into the broadcast today. Always good to see him amongst the definitely always good to see him amongst the riders out on course here. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for joining in and making your comments known today out there today for us, Mr. Christopher Durham. So looking through here, we do have, if you would like to jump in, you can do so, as you can see here, just as Christopher did. Big group of racers. Hopefully we'll see Team WR racer or two or three on the podium. If you'd like to jump into the broadcast, go ahead and comment over at the Facebook. Let us know what your prediction is for the win today, or you can also send us your pics or tweets over at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live. This morning was the Racer Focus with Ian Anderson, actually, early this morning, and you can see the at Z Community Live actually shot us a tweet letting us know all about that. So make sure to do so if you want to get involved in the broadcast. Let us know who your favorite racers are and who is going to take the W today. It does look like it is Innovation back up at the front, 163 beats per minute with about 6 laps to go. Gamma, Metcalf as well, Wallace, Jay Lecoq, Hinton is there with Fleetwood, Augustine, the Melting Man, Dreisen, Jay Gren, Tim Cartwright, and Peter Strzinski. Looking over at ZwiftPower.com. If you're not familiar with ZwiftPower.com, it is one of the community resources, one of the top community resources used especially for live racing and riding results. If you haven't been there already, you can head over to ZwiftPower.com, and you can see over there, actually, this race with its live results is actually loaded up for me. And if you would like to see a live broadcast there while also watching what the live results and live time gaps are. You can do so by clicking on the KISS race in its feed of races and rides over there. AMC and M. Wallace, Mateus, looks like Dreisen, Pelosi, Gamma, Perrick, Bentley, as well as Hinton from Innovation, all hanging out in that A category. It does look like Hinton actually, a recent upgrade, I believe, was riding in the B category all the way up to, it looks like, July 18th, actually, of last month, about a little under a month ago, got that upgrade. He's been having some solid results still, actually, since that upgrade. Got a second place back on July 25th, but unable to take all those W's still since that upgrade. Was dominating the B category for quite a while, so it does look like getting faster and faster, though. We are seeing up in a 4.3, 4.0, 4.28 watts per kilogram. We do see a definite rise up in his watts per kilogram, actually, since that upgrade, because he's having to put out a higher effort actually throughout the races. So definitely a lot of times you do see people you know, hanging out at the front end of those groups and not taking those upgrades as seriously. But as you can see here, Hinton getting a better workout overall because he went ahead and jumped into that higher category. He's now racing against racers that are closer to his ability level. Let's have a quick little chat about that, actually, as maybe unfamiliar with what are all of these categories all about. What is the situation with these categories? The A category is actually all riders that can hold somewhere around 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for their functional threshold power. So the assumption here is that for about 20 minutes or so, these riders can put about as much wattage as that would give it them, as you can see on the upper left-hand corner here. That's actually a real power measurement, wattage that the riders are putting into the pedals that they're actually riding on at this moment. Jay Lecoq up toward the front here, right along with Seth out of Norway. Augustine there, 230 watts, 157 beats per minute. And at that current wattage, you can always see on the right-hand side where my cursor is here, their current watts per kilogram, 4.7 watts per kilogram at 378 watts or so. And so the assumption then, as we were saying, is 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for their best 20-minute effort here amongst the A riders. Currently, the riders are putting out amongst this group right around a 4.4, 4.6, 4.5. Hinton has put out 4.3 watts per kilogram for the duration of this, his best 20 minutes out there today. Strzezinski here with that Team Poland kit on right now. It is that In Gamba kit, as you can see here. They have adopted that for the Team Poland, as it is definitely in line with their country flag colors here. Car rate 5.1 watts per kilogram, 155 beats per minute. So some great as you can see, metrics out on Zwift, as well as over at Zwift Power, that's able to show us exactly what kind of efforts these riders are actually putting out in real life right now. So the A category is that 4.0 or higher. The B category then is going to be 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. The C category 2.5 to 3.2, and the D category is going to be 2.5 or under. So everybody then has a category of riders to ride against around their ability level, so that you can jump right in to the racing at any ability level or riding, as it isn't all obviously just races out on course for the event module. So very simple to just jump into the races by logging into the game and seeing all seeing all the rides on the right hand side after you pair your devices, or by jumping on to the website to see what kind of races and rides are coming up over at Zwift.com/events, or by jumping onto the mobile app, and you can also see all the events there. We are seeing an attack now, though, from Mr. Tim Cartwright here, up in the 7.1 watts per kilogram. This is a rider who does want to get away very early with all the sprinters who are in the group right now, especially with the power-ups being a factor today. You don't want it to come down to a random numbers game, any kind of an RNG dice roll as they come across the start finish banner. Every time they do grab those power-ups, it could be curtains for a super strong rider who has confidence in their sprinter, confidence in their ability to attack these other riders. But then if an arrow power-up does get put into their quiver, they can shut down an attack pretty quickly. And especially with so many riders from Innovation here, as well as PTZ hanging in and amongst the group here. Cartwright trying to soften up the legs. Didn't do much there just yet as Gamma did chase him right on down. Mateus and then Bike Point, it looks like, is still in here as well. We're looking back at Fleetwood here, 178 beats per minute. Definitely starting to put some hurt into the legs of some of the other riders. We are seeing, it looks like, Dierktek here out of Norway just trying to grab back on the wheel. We're going to give him a ride on. It is 182 beats per minute currently, though, trying to grab back onto the riders at the back end of this group. So definitely a serious attack here from Cartwright. Now 7.3 watts per kilogram. They'll find himself at the back suddenly here. 161 beats per minute. 31 miles per hour here coming from the rider out of Norway. Not going to see, it was a race of meters, as we always say, boys and girls, a race of meters. 40 meters out now. He almost grabbed back on. It was 1 second. That was all it was. And immediately, though, if he does not grab that draft, the group just goes flying away from him as slow fade into the distance. We do see Cartwright here again with a counterattack. He used that draft down the other side of the volcano and was able to walk away a little bit here. We are seeing a bunch of crabs here on the left-hand side of the course there. Actually, the right-hand side to the riders there. Is that a newer feature or just something I've missed for all these times around the volcano course there? New addition to the volcano on the beach there. Really good. I love all of the additions to Zwift, all of the scenery as of recently here. We do see Gren now 6.4 watts per kilogram. Definitely not a snail out here today, as Cartwright here is starting to pop a few power-ups at the front now, as he does have a 2-second gap. Not sure he's going to be seen ever again, as the PTZ rider is just holding on to the wheel of Tim Cartwright, the juggernaut of Zwift here now. Jay Gren 6.6 watts per kilogram. The Melting Man now just following things up, not going to chase down his teammate here now. As we look over the shoulder, though, look at the mayhem at the back. Riders just falling like flies right now, one after another. And are we going to see a break now at this point? Melting Man now countering, though, after Cartwright's attack here, 6.1 watts per kilogram. Gren now 4.0, 179 beats per minute, with Gamma now making his way to the front with that arrow power up. It does look like Gamma and Melting Man with a little bit of a gap now as they make their way up toward the top of this climb, the only real climbing section out on course. Each time they do have this two-tiered into the lap sign here. 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go out on course. Gamma now coming across the line. See if there's any more power-ups. Maybe a double up here for the Melting Man, as he did use, it looked like an arrow power-up coming into this section here. Jay Olsen now out of Denmark here, hanging on the wheels, giving him a ride on with Gamma. Hinting now from Innovation. It does look like Augustine and Cartwright off the back by about a second here. Needing to grab back on the wheels. Does look like it was Wallace now. Next one to bite the dust at 192 beats per minute. The tactics are real out there, boys and girls, on a flatter course, but definitely starting to break things apart now. Fleetwood now 181. Not going to see this group again, I don't think, at 29 miles per hour. Cartwright here 29 as well. If he doesn't bump it up into the 30s, he will not be seen again. It is just 1 second. 1 second here. Let's see if we can see what the gap actually is. 13 meters, probably about 20 to 30 meters, though, up to the group itself. Will he grab back on? We are seeing Wallace, though, with that arrow power up, able to do so. Did Fleetwood get the draft there from Wallace? Just barely able to get back on terms with this group, but will the B rider hold him up? He grabs onto the back of this group here with that B rider. He goes right on by. Is he going to see this group again, though, as there are B riders to make his way through here? Lap traffic at this point. Fleetwood has to kick one more time because the group is fading away still as he grabs onto the B rider's wheel right here, and the A riders are flying right on through this group of B riders now, and I'm not sure that Fleetwood is going to be able to make it happen. He does have a couple of wheels here and there, but it's going to be a draft that maybe he is not welcoming at this point unless these riders do hang on. It does look like they are going to be hanging on and just barely allowing Mr. Stephen Fleetwood to hang on to those wheels at this point. Good to see Fleetwood back in and amongst the group out there today. Stephen Booth saying no VRC Racing UK over 50, 60, 70 representation tonight. Sadly, sat back watching these big numbers, though. Good to see Steve Booth hanging out in the broadcast. Definitely thanks a lot for the information there, on the team out there today, though. They're not out there to race, you're saying, but thanks a lot for the new information on the VRC Racing UK 50s, 60s, and 70s representation. We'll be watching for them out on course for sure, more and more as they do show up to the races. Always good to have new teams out on course. We are looking for, it looks like, the B and C category riders for their feed out on course. It does look like Race WBR does have a solid contingent, actually, up toward the front, actually, of the B category race. Let's go ahead and jump right in with that race right now, as it is calming down in and amongst the A category just a little bit with the Melting Man and the others on the front. This is usually the point at which they do attack. Actually, excuse me, Cartwright, with an attack that I missed, was able to grab about a 6-second gap now at this point, taking 5.7 watts per kilogram into this downhill, looking over his shoulder. There's the chase now. It is out to 6 seconds. This is a threat now at this point, boys and girls, as he does go flying right on through a few of the D category riders now, and this is right down his alley. We saw him win the CVR World Cup in London exactly this way, 12 miles in or so. It is 5 seconds back to Gamma now from the PTZ team now, with Augustine sitting in that wheel. I'm not sure we're going to see much from Augustine in terms of chasing things down, as he's just going to be looking for that sprint effort at the finish. It is 4 seconds up to Cartwright, but I have a feeling we are going to see him hold on to about 5 watts per kilogram or so and then kill it up and over the top of the climb in just a moment. But the rest of the riders here just getting kind of a free ride here from the PTZ rider Gamma, as they are trying to drag Cartwright back into the fold. 6.0 now coming from Cartwright here. Still holding on to 3 seconds, and now this is the moment of truth for Cartwright. If he's able to hold on to this 3 seconds and then kick over this little 2-tier climb, there's the initial climb into the volcano, and then there's another climb going into the actual finish line on the volcano here. He does have that feather power up, bumping his watts per kilogram by a full watt per kilogram, actually lightening up his avatar. You'll actually see his avatar change in size actually as that power up goes away, as it does represent how much of a change in weight he does have from using it. Does bump into the 8 watts per kilogram momentarily, holds on to about 29 miles per hour, fades for just a second there as he looks for a little bit of reprieve. It does look like the Melting Man here trying to get away with his teammate. If these two riders do get away at this point, though, it's going to be curtains for the rest of the group now. Melting Man here, 7.9 watts per kilogram, does get with Cartwright. Cartwright jumps right onto that wheel. Melting Man's not going to hold up for him. He's going to keep on that pace as high as he possibly can at 31 miles per hour here. Looking over the wheel, over the shoulder here, there is the chase group now right along with Metcalf. It looks like Dryson as well, but here it is going into 4 laps to go. Cartwright and the Melting Man getting away here. It is Team KRT, the KISS Racing team, going to look for the W in their own race today, as they do come by Kelsey Withrow here. We gave her a ride on earlier. Good to see the pro triathlete hanging out there today, hammering away for the women out on course. 4.5 watts per kilogram, solid there from Kelsey. It looks like Gamma, though, coming by now with Pelosi, Jay Gren, and now Gamma out in no man's land here, trying to get a gap over the rest of the group, saying, if you boys can't make it happen, I'm going to go on my own now. Takes a flyer out the front, but at about 5 watts per kilogram, with Cartwright and the Melting Man throwing down well over 6 momentarily here. Now resting up just for a second, and it does look like a drafting power being thrown down by the Melting Man as he comes right on by at 4.6 now, about 30 miles per hour. They're going to have their work cut out for them, with there is a super strong group trying to chase them down, but that has caused a lot of mayhem at the back end of the group at this point, as Wallace from Innovation does get dropped off with Fleetwood 5 or 6 seconds back. So it is a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 riders trying to chase down the rest of the KRT contingent off the front that does have 8 seconds now. And now they are starting to get into that rhythm of 5 or 6 watts per kilogram at the front. Melting Man sitting in 4.0 or so underneath threshold. Continually is what we're going to see at the back end of this group. The Melting Man now 3.9 watts per kilogram. They are throwing down 5 minutes laps on the volcano right now, boys and girls. This is absolutely crazy pacing out there today. Cartwright now pacing along the Melting Man. We'll go ahead and give them both a ride on, as it is going to be 6.0 from him, 175 beats per minute. That's right about at his over threshold, actually, I think, as I believe he actually beats right around 168 or so for his threshold, maybe 170. Let's definitely take a look. This is actually 200 races, 200 races for Tim Cartwright as of, I believe, today for him out on course. So congratulations on racing 200 races out on Zwift to Mr. Cartwright. Did take a win, it looks like, back on the 9th. That was yesterday in the EVR Europe race. Did win the KISS Europe race as well back on Tuesday. Took a win in the KISS Sunday race. A third place back on August 1st in the XRS ZTR race, actually, with a 4.78 watts per kilogram. In the KISS Europe race, though, back on Tuesday, it averaged a 5.18 watts per kilogram, actually, for the duration of the race. This is a rider who can absolutely kill it. 400 watts plus for him. He's put out, I believe, right around an high 18-minute TT, actually, for a 10-mile TT, actually. This boy can absolutely hammer in real life as well as out on Zwift, and they have given him his forte out there today as he hammers away in a TT effort, actually, right now with his teammate, the Melty Man, sitting in on his wheel right now. It's gone out to 12 seconds. Not sure they're going to be seen again. There was a lot of motivation early on as they got away, but as they do see the rest of the riders sitting in and getting an advantage on them as they just try and drag them back up to the wheels of the KRT team, they're saying it looks like this is gone and the motivation no longer in the riders, or maybe even the ability at this point to chase down the riders that have a solid 5.0 plus at the front of this race to give, as the Melty Man just sits in on Cartwright's wheel at 155, just looking for some reprieve after those crazy efforts off the front. Gammon now 32 miles per hour. They still have the numbers now at this point, though, and they may be able to bring them back in. It is 10 seconds. These riders, though, as they come into this next section out on course with 4 laps to go, this is going to be where you start seeing crazy attacks, sometimes 8, 9, 10 watts per kilogram, almost end of race efforts to try and close down that 10 seconds very quickly, because the riders at the front here with Cartwright and the Melty Man are putting out a solid effort up in the threshold continually all day long. With only 10 seconds, that 10 seconds can be closed down fairly quickly. We are seeing the Melty Man now going to the front here, 9 watts per kilogram. They know they have to throw down in those orange numbers every time they come around here, or else they are going to find themselves caught very, very quickly by the chase group as they head into the Volcano. Only 9 seconds now. We are seeing Gamma now 9.3 watts per kilogram as well here as they kick into the Volcano, that 2-tier here. The first of the 2 tiers now coming from Gamma now up into that 3.8 watts per kilogram, actually fading back to 3.8 watts per kilogram as they come up and over the top. They are actually extending their lead over the climb now. I was actually expecting them to come down a little bit, so still huge efforts, huge kick still as they make their way into the last half of the race out there today. We're seeing a shout out here coming from Team TFC. Thank you so much for the shout out here to Mr. Stuart Hogg from TFC, actually, out there today. We are seeing very sad news today for the team today, as sadly Stuart Hogg passed from cancer. Some TFCers are riding in honor of him at Z Community Live. We saw them out on course today, all in the TFC kits, with a rest in peace to Stuart Hogg. So definitely condolences, and thank you so much for the tweet out. And sad news out there today as the Zwift community does mourn a loss of a long-time racer, long-time competitor, and a great personality in and amongst the Zwift community. Tom Whately saying, great racing. Good job calling it too. Thanks a lot, Tom Whately. Good to have you here. BJ Alfonso now with a shout-out to Team PTZ out there today as well. Good to see BJ Alfonso, the Director Sportif over at Team PTZ, actually. All long time racer and rider out on Zwift. Quite a community that has been formed out on Zwift, actually. A lot of personalities and a lot of people who put a ton of effort into organizing the races as well as the teams out there. If you are looking for a team, you actually can head on over to zwiftpower.com, register with zwiftpower.com, and signify on your profile that you are in search of a team, and there are people out there recruiting, actually. If you are a recruiter for a team and you did not know about that feature, you can find those who are looking for a team through zwiftpower.com. So head on over there and find out what is going on with all of those looking for a team to join. You can also see all their past results, power files, all that stuff out on there, as well as whether or not they have been approved for the power that they're putting out on course. Joseph Holmes saying that Tim is lighting up. He definitely is, absolutely killing it right now out on course. They do still have about 7 seconds, but I thought it was going to be all but said and done today. But this chase group here with Pelosi, it looks like at the front coming out of Italy, still hammering away here and keeping them within their sights. I'm not sure that these riders are going to be able to hold off this group, as they are definitely holding them within striking distance of a crazy attack out on course here. So PTZ definitely showing up and letting it be known that they are not going to allow things to get out of hand here. But Augustine, right along with Innovation, taking advantage of the riders from the PTZ team, now starting to do their fair share of work, as Wallace was able to bring things back within. And this looks like one of the workhorses here from Innovation, up in that 193, 194 actually, as he puts an effort at the front here, 5.1 watts per kilogram, working for K. Augustine, who they know to be their sprinter out on course, trying to bring back the Cartwright and the Melty Man here. Now we do see Cantwell now. Cartwright, though, off the front now at this point, saying, all right, Melty Man, if you can't hang on, it's time for me to go. 8.3 watts per kilogram now coming from Cartwright with just a few laps to go now, still staying away. They are still within sight, so at this point. And now we are seeing Tom Ove Kalin from KRT with a prediction coming in from him, and that is a well-known KRT rider out there, O'Kalin, now one of the strongest climbers out on the world of Zwift. Looks like he's hanging in at this point, though, for the broadcast rather than out there racing. The mountain biker out, I believe endurance mountain biker with some solid results actually, hanging out in the broadcast today. We are seeing BJ Afonso as well, saying that he's heading over to Paris actually, looks like over in September, hoping to meet some Zwifters. Yeah, I think you'll definitely be doing that. I think that's going to be a well-attended event, actually. Gamma here now, 9.3 watts per kilogram. Looks like they are going to be catching the juggernaut, who is Tim Cartwright, going to make sure that it comes down maybe to a sprint effort out on course today. The Melty Man now suffering for his efforts. Looks like he may be falling off the back now, and 151 beats per minute. Not going to be hanging on to the group any longer, as Szerzynski and the rest here hanging at the back of this group. 174 beats per minute. Those look like everybody's suffering, regardless of the tactical flat or race out there today at 174. Definitely crazy efforts coming from all the riders out there today, and that is definitely what this is all about. These efforts, that's what the Zwift effect, because it's this continual pedaling all day long. That's one of the differences between Zwift riding and racing compared to real life riding and racing. You get a lot more reprieve in the pedal stroke, a lot more reprieve in the legs actually from the efforts actually out on course in a real life effort, because you're able to get a lot more stopping of the pedaling and the power output out on Zwift. There's a continual, at least, especially in these A categories, you're almost always at about 2.5 to 3.0 at the least, definitely up into 3.5 to 4.0 continually all day long. And that is where the huge advantage is in out there racing and getting those huge fitness gains, is because you just never back off. And then there's these attacks over and over and over again. So it's almost like over-unders continually all day long. Crazy attacks followed by a steady tempo in and amongst the group out there. As you see, 170 beats per minute coming from Gamma. Now Dreisen, 168. Gamma now still hanging in there with Szerzynski, 178. Gren now 177. It does look like Augustine still able to hang in there with Hinton for Innovation. Now Cartwright's going to have his work cut out for him to try and stay away from the likes of K. Augustine out there today in a sprint effort. We are seeing Bobby McGlue now saying go Innovation boys now, with a little bit of a shout out to their team members, as he is one of the Innovation riders out there as well. Allenby now saying something has changed with the draft effect. Far too easy to catch the big effort of several mediocre through and off efforts now. So interesting to see David Allenby saying that there is a draft. I was having a conversation last night with a couple of others saying that there was a change maybe in the draft effect that does make the pack travel a little bit faster Zwifter out there. So interesting to see, and definitely going to have their work cut out for them if they're looking for any kind of a breakaway. It's always been very difficult to hold off any of the packs out on Zwift. Going to have a Herculean effort now, it looks like, from any of the riders to hold off Innovation and PTZ or the likes of Cartwright if they do get away. It looks like it may come down to a sprint finish now out there today with Hinton now 167 beats per minute up at the front now out of New Zealand. Speaking of New Zealand, there is the Kiwi Tour currently going on. If you're looking for a tour to get involved with, definitely want to check out the information on that. Zwift's been throwing down. They did just get done doing the Tour de Zwift, actually, the down under crowd, and now also the Kiwi Tour is taking place now as well. I believe it's a 6-stage race. We haven't been able to get the coverage out for it, but I do believe that a few of these riders, including Hinton, have been involved in the Kiwi Tour as of recently, getting some solid efforts out there. I believe Hinton's doing very well actually in that tour, and then also jumping into this race. So cool to see him doubling up with his efforts out there today. It does look like Cartwright still trying to get away here, up in that 7.5 watts per kilogram, being closed down very quickly though by Guerra and the lights of Gamma here. Kim did the Kiwi Tour stage 3 last night. Haken is letting us know, actually. So solid efforts here from the Innovation boys. Haken here actually with his Kiwi Tour in his profile, has his profile picture there over on the Facebook. Very cool to see. Go Innovation also coming from Mr. Haken there as well. Thanks for tuning in. Always good to see you hanging out in the broadcast. So Cartwright with all those W's recently, he's got nothing but wins for the last 3 races out there out on course. But Johan Gren here with a 6th place in the KISS Americas actually earlier today actually, and then the KISS Down Under also earlier today. Gren, one to watch out for here. He takes a win in the KISS Down Under race earlier today for me. It looks like, yeah, that was actually earlier this morning for himself coming out of Sweden here. Will Gren be able to throw down another result here actually for the PTZ group now? Team out on course up against the likes of Cartwright and the rest of the Innovation boys. It does look like it's going to come down to Hinton right along with Augustine now for the Innovation team. It is going to be Cartwright now caught out though. KRT solo now as they make their way to the finish line. 2.3 watts per kilogram now coming from the likes of Cartwright now. I believe it did say that they were going to be doing right around 22 miles, so maybe 1 lap to go. But in the Zwift Power though, it is letting us know that it is a total of 37 kilometers, or maybe a little bit more than that, around 24 miles. So I think they're going to have 1 lap to go, maybe 1 lap to go as they make their way to the to the finish line here in just a moment. We will see the lap count coming through as they make their way to the start finish banner, or the finish banner, excuse me. Now it's Cartwright now kicking one last time as he was hanging out the back of the pack there, looking for a little reprieve, and then a kick right on through as they do the first of the 2 here. It does look like Straczynski following it up very closely there from Team Poland. Gren now 6.4 watts per kilogram. We do see him hanging out in the group, getting the draft now as Cartwright does get a little bit of space between him and Hinton, but Hinton quickly shuts that down. 175 beats per minute and brings back their sprinter Augustine as they make their way to the line. Straczynski now 4.5 watts per kilogram, just trying to hang on to the pack now. Dryzen now suffering from the effort. They're looking for some sort of a draft, using that drafting power. We'll give him a ride on as encouragement, but he is off the back. And now we've got 1 to go, boys and girls. 1 to go out on course here with Mateus Bike Point now hanging onto the wheel of Gamma now. And it looks like Hinton there from the Kiwi land here, right along with Grand Augustine. And then it will be Cartwright all resting up, waiting for those final efforts as they make their way around the course one last time, just about 3 miles to go out there today. What's your prediction out there? Let us know. We do have innovation with Augustine. If it comes down to a sprint, I think he's going to be a hard one to beat out there, boys and girls, as we saw a huge sprint up into almost, I think it was like 1,800 watts or something crazy like that, 15, 16 watts per kilogram from Augustine the last time we saw him sprint, easily taking down the rest of the field. But it's a slightly uphill grind though for the sprint. Will he be able to make this happen out there and stay in contention? Will we see an early attack from Cartwright to try and get away, or will he be able to take down the sprinter Augustine in a head-to-head sprint out there today? There's also the likes of Guerra, who hasn't lost too many races since he started racing out on Zwift. 9.7 watts per kilogram coming from the PTZ boy. Will it be Gamma? Will it be Guerra from PTZ, or will it be one of these unattached riders actually, or excuse me, Mateus here, riding for Bike Point here, coming out of Portugal as well. So maybe a little bit of upset coming from him, but it is going to be Szerzynski 2 seconds off the back. This isn't the place you want to be with only about a half a lap to go, throwing down a huge effort just to get back on terms. Does look like he was caught out by some lap traffic now, and this is definitely a point of bother for him, as he's going to be in a huge world of hurt burning matches just trying to get back on terms with the group at 7 watts per kilogram with less than half a lap to go. Cartwright seeing him off the back now, taking full advantage of the moment here. 7 watts per kilogram, not wanting that sprint finish now. Cartwright on that Tron bike, riding for the KRT team, trying to win it on the day in his namesake race for the KISS Racing team, but doesn't get anywhere, but is able to open up that 4-second gap to Szerzynski now. Now it is Hinton here just sitting in with Augustine, getting all the advantage, but look at this, a huge pack of lapped riders that they're going through. Maybe a little bit of upset here now as they make their way through the pack. Now it is going to be Gamma, and now and off the front just a little bit, but does not cause too much mayhem as they get mixed in and amongst this group. Nobody going anywhere just yet. Innovation closed everything right on down, and nothing came of that attack. I'm actually not even seeing Cartwright in and amongst the group at this point. Was he dropped off? And now maybe he was the one who was put into a little bit of hurt because of that lapped group here as they do make their way into the downhill section here. This is the final half a lap now out here on course now, 45 minutes into this crit course, and now they're mixed in with a bunch of B riders now, and they're losing wheels left and right. Nobody knows where anybody is out at this point. It is the front end of the B category now, and you're gonna have to be very attentive as you're looking for the wheels out there today. Cartwright trying to keep tabs on who's where, but every meter matters now out on course here with Wisselsberger and Callison from the B category, Augustine as well, Mateus from Bike Point now 5.7 watts per kilogram here, Gamma at the front with a full advantage of about 15 meters or so over the likes of Cartwright and the rest. Now are they gonna go? Here goes Cartwright now, 8 watts per kilogram, going for way out, boys and girls, 9 watts per kilogram, and you know what the tactic is here? He's just gonna ramp it up to 9 watts per kilogram and try and hold right there all day long, because he does not want that kick effort at the end. We are seeing Guerra now going from way out up in 11 watts per kilogram, 186 meters per minute. There is that aero power up. Cartwright trying to hang on to the effort, and the likes of Guerra, but Guerra is going away at this point into that 10 watts per kilogram. Will he be able to hold on to it though? Cartwright now 9 watts per kilogram with that kick. 5 seconds. He is gone, boys and girls. He's not going to be seen again, and he saved the aero power up for a moment like this. Here he goes. 7 watts per kilogram from Guerra though. Cartwright now 3 seconds back. Will he be able to close it down? I'm not sure it's going to happen now. Cartwright fades momentarily. 3.5 watts per kilogram. Guerra's got a 3-second gap. That is absolutely huge in the world of Zwift though. Can he match this in real life? That's the question, boys and girls. The Swedish rider's absolutely been killing it lately, but Cartwright now closing it down. 8 watts per kilogram. Can he make this happen? No, he's faded, but he's got the 12 seconds. Guerra gone out of Sweden, takes it down for PTZ, and it's going to be a PTZ win, followed up by Cartwright for second place. Hinton here with Augustine. Augustine showing us how to sprint, takes it from his teammate, followed by Innovation with Hinton for fourth place. PTZ coming across for rounding out in fifth place today. Now the B-boys now making around for the course now, and I believe this is the front end of the B category. Let's just double check here real quickly as they make their way around the course here. I believe this is the front end of the B, and they were caught by the A racers out there today. Wisselsberger, I'd be surprised if it was not. Let's go ahead and double check with the Zwiftpower.com. I am seeing Payne here with the Colonel Crisps, and I believe this is it. Yes, this is the front end of the B category. Thank you so much to the riders in the A category for getting us right in and amongst the mix for the Bs as they make their way around course for their final lap. And it is Race WBR right along with Avelsberg here rising for the Vikings team out of Norway now as we're dropped right into the mix of the B category. What an effort there coming from Grenlow to take the W from Cartwright. That is a huge effort, but I think he's going to be raising some eyebrows now, boys and girls, as he just took a W from a man that doesn't lose a whole lot of races out on Zwift. And with his recent addition to Zwift, you might be getting a call from the Zada boys saying, hey, let's go ahead and see a couple of those power files because you just threw down some craziness up against the likes of Cartwright. Just always double checking, as we do know that the KISS boys as well as the Zwift Power boys always do a great job to make sure that they get Zada approval at the highest end of racing out on Zwift here. But now we are seeing, it does look like Innovation here out of South Africa now with a Payne right along with Colonel Chris from TWBR, and then it is going to be, as we can see, M. Wilkes here with Davis, and Innovation Payne now still up at the front, putting down the Payne here at 152 beats per minute, looking fairly comfortable now. 180 though coming from the Colonel now for the WBR boys. Will he be able to make this happen? And of course, he does have the win. I'm just saying that he might have raised a few eyebrows. I know that that's going to cause a little bit of mayhem, but just that with those kinds of crazy efforts, a lot of times you do raise eyebrows here and there will be maybe a few asking questions there. Just saying, hey, let's see those power files. And of course, the sprint though and the tactics might have been saving up for those moments, but with the crazy efforts earlier this morning as well and throwing down up against Cartwright there, definitely solid effort from Johan, who does take the W there from Cartwright in second place, followed by Augustine and then Hinton and then Ricardo Gama for the PTZ team. Half a lap to go here in the B category with Avelsberg as well as Carlson. Does look like Colonel Chris and Farron now able to get back on turns. These boys were all holding hands. It was Grupo Compacto up to this point. They had a gap, but they did not capitalize on it. And now it is all back together at the front end of this B category with Innovation here now making their way around with the Vikings team with Avelsberger in that it looks like Tour of California kit. Amgen Tour of California actually is the kit that the Vikings have adopted out on course here to, well, not today, but in general. They do have one other Viking man, it looks like here, just a little ways back in that Tour of California kit. I believe it will be. See if we can find, it looks like bring it all here, bring it all to the line as they make their way around course here for the B category for their final sprint up the climb now, about to take it down. And now looking at the latest results, we do have a lot of W's here coming from the Vikings man, Avelsberg now. We'll see if he's able to throw down to the line. It does look like Riddervold though coming out of Norway as well from Innovation's gonna have something to say about Wisselsberger here from the PTZ team. Good to see him out there, out of Germany here. Seabanger here out of the land of Ireland here. He's also another one to be watching out for this sprint. A huge group, a lot of super talented riders making their way to this finish line, but it's Colonel Chris now for Team WBR making his way to the front now. It's going to be the final sprint, and everybody's been waiting for this last moment up and over the top of the climb now. When gravity kicks in, this is where we're going to see it now. Colonel Chris now 7.8 watts per kilogram. Looks like Davis now 8 watts per kilogram now out of the US of A. A now making his way to the front, 7.2 watts per kilogram. Colonel now up in that 9 watts per kilogram. Innovation though with Carlson now, and there is the Aero power up, the strongest power up out on Zwift now with 7 watts per kilogram. Opens up over a 1 second gap, and I think Carlson might be gone as Innovation makes her way to the line with all the mayhem there as well with the lapped riders. Not sure he's going to be seen again, but here comes Davis with 11 watts per kilogram in the pink kit there, boys and girls, with the crazy, I absolutely love the avatar's look here as he makes his way to the line on the pink shred. It looks like it will be Davis, followed by Carlson, and then Colonel Chris for WBR for your top 3 out there today. Innovation with Rigdervold just barely nipping at the line, bringing it all out of Norway for 6. Nice effort all around for the riders. And now we are seeing a whole lot of comments coming on through. Nice one, Duza. Christopher, I'm saying stage 3 of the Elite Kiwi Tour today, a TT stage. I'm ready to maintain GC lead by setting a new FTP. Nice job, Christopher Durham, doing the Kiwi Tour. Very, very cool. So nice job to all the riders there in the B categories. They make their way around for the course. Let's go ahead and look through a few of the comments as they come through over at the Facebook here for Zwift. Chris Radler saying nice one to the Colonel, and as well as Go Carlson and Chris there coming from Bobby Glue. Come on, Russell there. A lot of people cheering for Russ there, it looks like, as well, out on course for sure. Thanks a lot for the thumbs up there, John Bradley, as well as all the other riders and viewers that have tuned in over at the broadcast over at the Zwift Facebook. All right, looks like we have lost the race at this point for our footage up above me here. See if we can bring in maybe the C riders that make their way around the course. I do believe we do have some of the C riders still making their way around. Yes, we do. Here they are as they make their way around for their final little kicks to the line. 2.9 watts per kilogram now coming from D Cook here, right along with Mallow. I am seeing Whiting here 22 miles in or so. This is their final lap now, it looks like, as they make their way out of the volcano. And Chapeau, guys, good to see you there, John Bradley. As ever, top commentary, Steve Booth. Thanks a lot, Steve Booth, for the comments and everybody tuning in. We will make sure to try and get the finish here for the C categories. They make their way to the line. Whiting, always want to be watching out for, out of Australia. Just about a half a lap to go for the riders in this C category. Looking through here, I'm going to go over the results, though, from the A and the B race. If I can bring in our desktop capture here over on, we're gonna have to swap up which one that we're capturing, though, as we did have a little cool swap up on a lot of our displays here as of recently. So go ahead and see if we bring in display 2, and there we go. And this is zwiftpower.com. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with zwiftpower.com, this is the website. Excuse me. And we do see Johan Gren here with a solid 4.6 watts per kilogram. This is the live results. Tim Cartwright here. These are preliminary results. 4.9 watts per kilogram as he came around for the Finnish Kyle Augustine there as well in 3rd place, followed by Andrew Hinton and Ricardo Gama for your top 5. Then looking through here, we do see if it looks like Mike D with the W there out of the USA, 3.8 watts per kilogram with Nick Carlson and Russ Cripps. 4.0 watts per kilogram though for Russ there for Race WBR. The Colonel might be getting an upgrade to the A category. I have to see if they do just look that one over, as it is only that 0.1, that 1 right on the edge there with 4.0 or so. Solid effort though for that top 3: Mike D, Carlson, Russ Chris, Andrew Payne bringing the pain today for innovation, and then the Vikings across the line in, it looks like, 5th place with Pierre Vidar Evelsbug. So nice job all around there. All right, right back into the racing though. That is the live results there for the BZ. We look through here though. This is the C category. Mallow with Whiting at the front of the race there, right along with Bottomore as well, so that we are in amongst that pack right now and waiting for them to make their way to the finish line as we merge them right back into the coverage here. It is going to be the final turn right around the bend here. Malo now absolutely killing it at 3.3 watts per kilogram out of Canada there right now. Whiting there 3.7 sitting in. It does look like they do have a solid gap though over Cook now. So it is two riders off the front in the C category right now. And it looks like Canada v Australia right now as they make their way to the line. Where's the kick now? Is the level 15 rider, at least level 15 kit there from Malo right now that he is donning out on course out of Canada. We'll go ahead and give him a ride on as he makes his way to the line. Looks like Whiting now as well. We'll give him a, we already did give him a ride on, so they know they're being watched here, but here's the aero power up coming from Malo. 6.5 watts per kilogram, 107 RPMs, no heart rate, so we don't know how the suffering's going at this point, and Whiting's probably wondering the same thing, of whether or not he can hang on, or if the suffering's real, but we'll have to see if he can go right on by as Whiting now kicks it again, up at 185 beats per minute. He's absolutely demolished himself, the man out of Australia now, trying to hang on the wheel now as the aero power-up goes right on by one more time. Malo kicking again, 5.7 watts per kilogram. Will Whiting be able to hang on to this effort? Looks like he's got a 1 second gap now. Malo out of Canada going to be taking the win, it looks like, today in this C category, unless Whiting has one last effort, but 186, like he's maxed out that heart rate at this point, boys and girls, and it will be Malo across the line, able to just throw his hands in the air and get the W. Maybe Whiting though, one last little kick, 8 watts per kilogram, but not enough at the line as we do see Malo crossing and taking the W. Followed very closely there by Greensdale. Ferris almost nipped him down the line, but was unable to do so. Solid effort all around from all those riders. We do see Kelsey Withrow here just coming across the line here. Solid effort for her in the B category there, and I believe taking the W in and amongst the women out there today. Let's go ahead and see what the results were out there today for the women. Definitely good to see her out there representing and looking through. Yeah, definitely the first woman across the line was Kelsey Withrow. Let's see if she's done any races as of recently. 7 races out on Zwift. Riding for Vanderkitten here. Took a 5th place actually in the WBR 4th lap back on June 20th. Has been using, it looks like, a little bit of Zwift racing about once a month actually to definitely get tuned up for her in real life racing as a professional triathlete. So good to see her out on course in and amongst the races. Kelsey, always a pleasure commentating and seeing you out on course. Speaking of women's racing and riding, we're about to see a whole lot more of that ramping up out on Zwift, actually, with the recent announcement of the Zwift Academy, as well as the Men's Zwift Academy in conjunction with Team Dimension Data. Huge announcements as of recently. We're going to go ahead and look through some of the results here, and then we're going to give you guys a little bit of promo here from Zwift on last year's Zwift Academy for the women. If you would like to check out all the details on the Zwift Academy, you can head on over to academy.zwift.com. There is pro contracts on the line, both for the men and the women's academy, teamed up with Team Dimension Data on the men's side, as well as Canyon Schramm on the women's side. So definitely want to check out those details. It is a worldwide competition for those pro contacts, as well as a way that to encourage each other on through a community of riders to get stronger and stronger through the Zwift Academy program. So that'll be it for our coverage today. Johan Grant, nice job in the A category with the W, followed by Tim Cartwright and Kyle Augustine. That's your top 3 in the A category. Mike D, Nick Carlson, as well as Russ Cripps in the top 3 in the B category. For the C category, then, we did have Frank Malo, solid effort, 3.1 watts per kilogram. Upgrade going to Craig Whiting, followed by Juanjo Ferez there with the just barely nipping it at the line for the BRT team for the top 3 in the C category. Nice job all around to those riders. All right, next up, though, for our coverage will be tomorrow, group ride, actually, with a group ride with Zuskana, actually, an introductory ride, women's introductory gateway ride. Everyone's welcome, though. It is not women only, but they will be averaging about 1.5 watts per kilogram. That'll be live streamed right here on Zwift Community Live. Make sure to join up with them tomorrow. 10 p.m. CST, Central Standard Time, will be the time that Zuskana will be kicking off the Zwift Fitness Women's Gateway Ride live here. We also have a new addition with Greg Henderson. Coach Hendy has been running me through the paces with Workout Wednesdays. We did it on a Tuesday. It was Workout Wednesday on a Tuesday. This past Tuesday, he put me through some over-unders. If you'd like to see the replay of that, it's over on our VODs over on YouTube, Zwift Community Live on YouTube, or you can also find it on our Facebook, Twitch, or Mixer channels as well. He ran me through the paces in the Dan Martin Mixer. That was a difficult over and under ride, actually, 4x10s. You want to see Nathan's heart rate up into the 180s or so, and a little bit of suffering. Not much talking for me, but Coach Henry did a great job of giving me a lot of encouragement throughout that workout. We'll be doing those workouts. You're welcome to join in. We'll be posting the workouts here for download, actually, on our Facebook, on Zwift Community Live's Facebook. So make sure to follow Zwift Community Live's Facebook for the download of the workout every week, and you can go ahead and plug that right into your Zwift, actually, and do the workout right along with us live with Coach Hendy, Greg Henderson, actually, the World Tour professional rider who's riding for UHC United Healthcare right now, actually in the Tour of Colorado right now. So really appreciated Type 2 fun that he's been putting me through, actually. So a new feature that we are super happy to announce here on Zwift Community Live. All right, as always, great job to all the riders. Again, next up, we will have Zuskana tomorrow with that group ride. And as always, everybody, a big, huge ride on. If you're unfamiliar with Zwift Academy is, here's what was going on with that last year. And make sure to check that out over at academy.zwift.com.
Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.